Hey guys, beauty. Check this out. Barcelona is denounced for corporate corruption after suspicious payments to VP of arbitration. If it's not written yet, it's already written. Leave your like and your comment with your opinion of what you think of all this beauty. Here we go. The complaint also targets former presidents Josep Maria Bartomeu and Sandro Rosell. Barcelona have been officially accused of corporate corruption over suspicious payments to former referee and vice president of the Spanish Arbitration Commission Enriquez Negreira. Barcelona's prosecutor's office sent this Friday to the city's Court of Instruction No. 1 the complaint, which includes the club as a legal entity, in addition to former presidents Josep Maria Bartomeu and Sandro Rosell and former executives of the club Oscar Grau and Albert Soler. Barca is the target of the crime of continuous corporate corruption through sports fraud. Former presidents, on the other hand, are accused of disloyal administration, and Bartomeu also has a complaint against him for falsifying a market document. The complaint points out that the club reached a strictly confidential verbal agreement so that Enriquez Negreira, in his capacity as vice president of the CTA and in exchange for money, carried out actions that tended to favor Barcelona in the decision-making process of the referees in the matches played by the club, and thus on the results of competitions. The text presented to the court also points out that Enriquez issued invoices for charging Barcelona without a specific service or provision of real advice. Plus Barcelona may even be demoted after payments to former VP of arbitration. See possible punishments. The investigation began in May of last year, focusing on Enriquez Negreira and his company. It was discovered, then, that Barcelona made payments of huge sums of money to the former referee, who also held the position of vice president of the Technical Commission of Referees, CTA. These payments would have been made uninterruptedly between 2001 and 2018. The article in which Barca was framed, the crime of corporate corruption, became foreseen in the Spanish Penal Code in 2010 and can lead to more severe punishments. It would weigh against Barcelona the fact that Negreira received more than €7 million while he was vice president of the CTA. The specific target of the process are payments made between 2014 and 2018, which were investigated by the Spanish tax agency. Reports and documents proving that Enriquez Negreira provided advice to the club were requested. Barca, however, reacted by saying that the documentation was not found. So, the agency concluded that there was no evidence that the service was provided, and the invoices would therefore be invalid. The public prosecutor's office claims that between 2001 and 2018, €7.3 million were paid from Barcelona to Negreira, amounts that would not have been approved by the General Assembly, having no legal backing. Payments were interrupted in 2018 by the board of Josep Maria Bartomeu. From there, according to El País, Negreira's company, 95 SL, saw its income plummet, as Barca was practically its only customer and reason for being. According to the Spanish press, at the time, Enriquez Negreira sent a letter to the president in a threatening tone. Personally, I don't manifest any animosity towards anyone in the club, neither against you nor especially against Mr. R or Mr. C, and I am unwilling to divulge all the wrongdoing I have known and experienced firsthand in relation to someone at the club. But you will force me to if you do not reconsider your decision and fulfill the agreement we had to continue to rely on my services until the end of the presidential term. I have the reason and the right to respond to said complaint. Both you and Mr. R, as vice president and vice versa, without further ado, agreed with me on the agreements that today you intend to break with impunity, the text would say. Those accused can receive a sentence of 6 months to 4 years in prison, if convicted of corruption, and from 6 months to 3 years, if convicted of unfair administration. For Barcelona, the criminal punishment would be payment of a fine or even the dissolution of the sporting entity, but there may also be sporting punishments.